Good morning. On the good morning down there. Good morning. Because sometimes maybe I'm a bit enthusiastic for such an early part of the day, although I'm sure it's not early for many people. It's not early for me, to be fair. Been up since 6 doing bits and pieces, and here I am now, sat here, ready for the day of graft. So yeah, good stuff. Just a quick plug, one or two things. Don't forget, if you go over to my Patreon page, I'll put a link in the bottom. I'm doing a free guided meditation tomorrow morning. It's Wednesday today. Yes, Thursday morning, doing a free guided meditation. And I'm doing it at 8:15 Thursday morning because the people I was talking to about it, that it suited them. It suited them, and they were going, "Oh, that would be perfect." I asked them what time, because it's really hard to find a time that suits everybody. So then I was talking to a group of people yesterday who were like, "I'd love that, but that's no good for me either." So I'm probably going to have to do more than one. Well, I tell you what, which will be fine. So I'm doing that tomorrow. So come along and join that. Have a look at the link. It's free. It's free for now. So have a look at that link, and if you fancy, subscribe to the Patreon thing. It's growing incrementally. Here's one of the problems with the way I do things. I think, oh, that would be a good idea, and I kind of launch myself into it sometimes, and that got me to thinking about the thing for today. Because I think sometimes, if you're using up spare time you might have, launching yourself into something's okay, and sometimes that's all right. But for things that are crucial, it's not crucial. I get that Patreon thing up and running like immediately, kind of thing. It's not crucial that I get it up and running at a fast pace. It'll emerge and develop, and sometimes some things do. But it came out of setting time aside to focus in a more structured way on doing my social media stuff. And the social media stuff's really taken off massively in terms of the amount I'm posting and the amount of likes and what have you that I get. Although I don't measure my success by those kind of things, it is nice to get that kind of validation, not of me. I think that's important to say, but validation of the messages that I'm sending out and articulating are helpful, and that's really important. If what I say is not helpful, then I'd rather not be doing it. I'd rather do something else that is helpful. So anyway, I thought I should be more structured about Facebook posts and tweets and the like. So I'm doing that. And that the Patreon thing came out of that. And it came out of people saying, regularly to me, not vast numbers, but regularly, of saying that, you should do guided meditations, nice people are saying nice things about the soothing nature of my voice. Well, there you go. Not something I ever thought about really, but there you go. I just talk like I talk. You know what I mean? There you go. So all of that's happening. Patreon page. The level 1 is launched, although there's not a great deal there at the moment. That's going to come. I'm busy talking to a lovely, helpful woman at Patreon, because I kind of get things linked up to Spotify and the like. So I'm busy doing that, and then there'll be things like a Patreon only podcast, and thinking maybe recorded guided meditations for people that can't make the live ones, and some live ones and that kind of thing. But I'm going to move on, because I've just done 4 minutes in, I've just done exactly what I hate about podcasts, which is when I listen to them and think, I want to know what you mean by predict, plan, prepare, and produce. And you've just spent the last 4 minutes pushing me stuff that I might not be interested in. So actually, I'm going to stop. And that's not the purpose of this. But I just want to tell you what I'm doing, because there's no point in me doing it if it doesn't resonate with people and people don't enjoy it. So I'm just pushing that. So look at the Patreon thing. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I can't stress this enough. If you do one thing for me, subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's really important for lots of reasons, lots of practical reasons. And for me, it's nice when you get a subscriber. And that doesn't cost you anything, subscribing to the YouTube channel, does it? But you'll get alerts when I go live, because now I just go live on YouTube, then I post it to all the other places. Anyway, predict, plan, prepare, and produce. I'm going out on a limb here because in a few weeks' time, I'm doing a short, I think it's an hour-long session, hour and a half, might just be an hour. I'm doing this with a local authority here in the Northeast for a kind of week of things that they're putting on. And I was talking to the woman who's kind of commissioned me, booked me to do this. And she said, well, what will you talk about? And what do you think? What's your pitch? So I kind of said, well, I'll talk about this, talk about that, talk about the other. And I said, oh, but that's the kind of things I always talk about, framed in the same ways. So I said, let's try and frame this differently. I said, look, this has just popped into my head. It popped into my head a couple of days earlier. I said, I've got a post-it note here that says predict, plan, prepare, and produce. And I said, really, I've got no idea what that means exactly. It just came into my head. I love an alliteration. It came into my head. I said, so let's call it that. And that'll make me think about it. Think about what that is a bit more, hoping that was all in the right order, but you can play around with these words, can't you? So I was thinking about that, and I think it works. So I had a little bit more think of it. I've been thinking about mulling it over in my head, and so I typed up a few little notes this morning before I arrived here. And yes, it just relies on the same principles that I talk about a lot, but it stacks up like this for me, you see. Predicting what's ahead up the road is absolutely crucial, isn't it? If you go on a journey, you might predict the pitfalls, you might predict the time that you need, you might predict what you want to do. So the starting point of predicting, the looking ahead, is, well, where am I going? And why am I going there? Which direction am I going in? And why am I going there? Have you got a 10-year plan? A 5-year plan? Do you know where you're going? What are you trying to achieve? Because suddenly, if you know what you're trying to achieve, you do things based on those goals. But here's the kicker with this, I suppose. You need to set those goals from an internal position, from an internal why position. And I've talked about this before. Why are you doing what you're doing? What are you setting out to achieve for you or for those closest to you? You know what I mean? Your family and your closest friends. What are you setting out to achieve in terms of your life? I was watching a video this morning, and I shared it on my Instagram account at SJMordew, and it was like, we're the lucky ones because of the way we're produced. There are thousands of people. There are more people who don't get born, more potential people, if you like, who don't get born from a genetic perspective. There are more people who don't get born than have ever lived and will ever live. So we're the outliers in the opportunity to live stakes, and we just waste a lot of life, don't we? Do you think? I think we do. And I try to waste very little of it, but still find myself wasting some of it. Talking about this just yesterday about how we immerse ourselves in how the world is, and we just accept how the world is. And sometimes I think we need to kind of kick back against it. Anyway, if you've got no 10-year plan, and lots of people don't, many people don't, probably more than do. 5-year plan, maybe. I mean, I talk to students a lot at the university. Most of them have got at least arrive at the university with a 3-year plan. They're doing a degree. They're going to become social workers in that case. But it turns out that some people don't even have a next week plan. Well, let's start with a next week plan then. So predict what's coming up. Predict what is coming up and what you will need to do. And what things can you predict that you will want to do? I mean, that's the important thing, isn't it? We need to do a lot of things in life, but also we maybe want to do a lot of things as well. But if you don't predict those, let's say what you want to do is, I don't know, one of the things that I want to do, and I might get to do it next year. I don't know. I aimed for this year and I missed. I might want to do it next year. I wanted to go and just do a little bit of traveling just on my own, It's self-indulgent maybe. So I saved a little bit, didn't save enough. So I'm saving again. So if I don't know I want to do that, I would never save anything. And then I'd think, oh, this summer I want to go away and travel a little bit on my own. Oh, Well, I've not predicted that. I've not worked towards it. So predict, look ahead, what direction you're going in. Then plan. What are the time scales? What are the time scales around what plan have I got for this prediction? Well, it's something I want to do in 10 years' time. It's something I want to do tomorrow. It's something I want to do next week. Plan it. What are the time scales on it? What's the breadth of the thing that you want to do or need to do? How long will it take? When exactly do you need to do it? When exactly do you want to do it? What does it look like? Break it down. Think about what skills you might need to do that thing. So here's another one. I want to be a counselor. I want to end my career in these person-facing professions I've been part of, even going back to when I was in IT, the customers were the important people. And now it's then it was the people I work with as a social worker, and now it's the students I work with. So what am I aiming for? What's the purpose of what I do? So what skills do I need? Yes, that's how I got to that. So I want to be a counselor, so I need some skills to do that. Yeah, I've got some skills because I was a social worker. I've got some skills, but social work's very different to counselling. So I'm doing a counselling course. So what skills do I need? So I could never have planned that if I hadn't predicted that I wanted to be a counsellor at some point. So think about what skills you need and what resources do you need. That's the couple of weeks away traveling on my own, isn't it? What resources do I need? Well, I'll need money and I'll need time off from work to do that. So we have to somehow manage that into our diaries in terms of the planning, So I've had to manage into my diary and think about some things not to do, some things that I won't do, so that I can plan in attending the lectures, the sessions, seminars, whatever you'd call them, for the hypnotherapy and counselling qualification I'm doing. So predict what you want to do, then plan what it looks like, broadly speaking, roughly speaking, then start to hone that into some sort of time to task kind of thing. And then once you've done that, prepare. And prepare is twofold, isn't it? Prepare is a mindset preparation. Set your intention, then pay attention is what I often say, don't I? It's a mindset preparation. It's a kind of, I suppose it's that mastery aspect of flow, isn't it? I can do this. That self-talk. I can do this. I'm an autonomous individual who can control this situation as much as I possibly can so that I can do this kind of thing. I'm going to prepare. Visualization, I talk about a lot, don't I? Visualization, I'm going to visualize myself doing this. I'm going to prepare my mindset for success. And this does not guarantee success. But what it does is it sets your mindset up to kind of strive for that success. We then have to manage our mindset when it all doesn't quite go according to plan. You have to manage that as well. But setting our mindset, set your intention. What are you not going to do in order to do this? I kind of mentioned that already. What are you going to safely put to one side and go, right, I'm going to park that there. I hate that phrase. I'm going to park that there. And I often think, well, I was planning on doing that now, but these other things have come up. I don't need to do that now. So I'm going to bump that back. And sometimes I might bump something back a year. I might bump it back 6 months ago. Well, I want to do that at some point, but I'll bump that back by a length of time. And then you might want to plan that you've got all the stuff, and if you haven't got the stuff, plan to prepare the stuff. So we planned what we needed, prepare the stuff. So I told you I was working this out on the fly. Prepare the stuff. Make sure you've got the stuff around you. Make sure, if you're writing something, you've got your pile of books or whatever it happens to be. If you're traveling, make sure you've got your passport handy and all that kind of stuff. And you might need to go back to plan to do that. You might go around a little plan, prepare loop here, mightn't you? But then the other thing, apart from the mindset preparation and some of the practical things you did in planning, preparation is all about physical preparedness, emotional preparedness. There's a whole range of things here. There's the mindset, mental preparation. Then there's emotional preparation. If it's not a thing that's fundamentally about emotion, then maybe that needs to be done less. But lots of things have emotions embedded in them, don't they? But it's a mindset preparation, a physical preparation for the thing, physically preparing for the task. Are you Like if I'm going to travel, I'll need to be physically well, won't I? Really, especially if I'm doing long journeys and stuff, I'll need to be physically ready for that. If it's weekly stuff, daily stuff, then am I well rested? Have I slept well? Have I got good food available to me? Have I been exercising so I've got the energy and all them kind of things? And then produce, predict it, plan it, prepare it, then produce the thing, the event. You produce in my case, you produce the counselor. I become the counselor. I produce that as a real tangible thing in me. I produce the trip. I produce the plan for next week. I produce the report that I need to write. I produce the healthier body because I've planned and prepared to go to the gym and go all those kind of things. So go get it, predict it, look ahead, plan it, think it through, prepare, make sure you're ready for the tasks that you've planned for yourself, and then produce. Go get it. Go get it. Because the fact you're here for a short period of time is an absolute miracle. Take care. See you very soon.